Well, hello there. The old elephant developed some new wrinkles for this year's parade season, and we'd like to take an opportunity to show you some of those in this combined audio and video presentation. One of our first innovations was to team up with the Tea Party folks, especially the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus, who provided this van to use to pull the float and the nice banners on either side of the van. And then this is a look at the float. They worked very long and very hard for 2 or 3 days before the parades to construct this, and as you can see, it has a 4-foot high plywood surround, and that there's plenty of room on that surround to mount a whole lot of signs. Just as was the case last year, we had a cross piece on the van, and you can recognize our familiar Fix Michigan banner that was on one side of that cross piece, and then on the other side of the cross piece there was a slogan that differed between the Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti parades. Here in the Ypsilanti parade, it was the Club 23 GOP welcomes the Tea Party. In Ann Arbor, it would be the Washtenaw County GOP welcomes the Tea Party. This is the way we looked as we stepped off, and you can see the familiar Republican banner in front. That's George McConnell and Jim Stern carrying the banner. And here you see Rodney Nanny, who's candidate in the 54th State House of Representatives race, on a Segway. Rodney used this Segway to be able to go back and forth and be able to see more people and talk to more people in the crowd without excessively tiring himself out. Our next new wrinkle was a fife and drum corps. Actually, I should say a fife, banjo, and drum corps. We're going to show a video here of these musicians rehearsing just before the Ann Arbor parade began. On the left, you have Joe Bublis running in the 11th County Commissioner District, and on the right, you have Melinda Day, who's running in the 8th. Joe's playing the banjo, Melinda the fife. And now let's see what it's like when we add drums. Here you have Mike Rector on drums with the other two. And now here we are kicking off our start of the Ann Arbor parade. That was George McConnell and Chip Stern carrying the Washtenaw County Republican banner. There is the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus's banners on the van. And then there's the float with all kinds of candidate signs and with flags and with people on the float who are going to be waving to the crowd. Behind them you can see our little fife, drum, and banjo corps, and then there's an Ann Arbor Tea Party patriot carrying a sign. At this point there's a small gap in between the marchers, and we come up to the Rob Steele campaign. Lots of, they call themselves the Steel Workers, walked in this parade, and you try to count them, there must be 15 or 20 steel workers. Behind the Steel campaign, there is the Mark Wilmette campaign. Mark is running for the 52nd State House seat to replace Pam Burns. And then behind Mark Wilmette, there are a bunch of orange t-shirt clad Congressman Wahlberg supporters. And then the music you hear now is a dance group that's behind us playing Star Wars. The rest of the video is taken from the float looking out at the crowd. You'll see the Washtenaw GOP welcomes the Tea Party on the crossbar, and you can just see the fife and drum corps behind us. You'll hear them as well all the time we're walking down or riding down Main Street. So here starts the video.
There's room on the truck.
Okay, we're going to roll the credits in just a second so we can thank some of the people who made it possible for us to participate in these parades on the 3rd and the 4th of July in both Ypsilanti and in Arbor. We're going to start with our wonderful float builders, the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus, photography by Teresa Reinhout, and the Fife and Drum Corps, Joe Boblis on banjo, Melinda Day on fife, and Mike Rector on drums, the Standard Bearer, who carried the flag, Bill Winnick, and our banner carriers, George McConnell, Jim Stern, and Chip Stern, and then the dozens and dozens of marchers who walked with us. As a matter of fact, we cannot remember a time when so many Republicans participated in parades in both Ypsilanti and in Arbor. And so it should come as no surprise to find out that later that same day, literally hundreds of Republicans showed up for a candidates' picnic at German Park. We'll have more to say about that later.